Hello, assalamu alaikum, ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chuna shumme, washmale, ohaya gozaimis, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shumma chutore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, and a very amazing, happy Eid Mubarak to everybody who's tuned into PTV1 and are watching this morning's special transmission on Eid Day 1. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shazad Khan, and with me I have the very ecstatic, the very beautiful, the very pretty Shiza Hashmi. Hello Shiza, Eid Mubarak, how are you?
Eid Mubarak, I'm absolutely fine. And does this happen to a person who's been fasting for a month and then finally Eid arrives, you are super energetic, mashallah?
Yes, I think because, you know, I got a chance to actually have a bit of vermicelli today early in the morning. There was quite a lot of sugar. I complained to my mom and
You have to use the word in the local language as well.
Samaiya khawatino hazrat khaiye humne savere usme चीनी थोड़ी ज़्यादा थी मुझे लग रहा है that the sugar is actually having an impact on me. But other than that, wherever there's Muslim community, wherever everybody is actually celebrating Eid, ladies and gentlemen, happy Eid Mubarak. Absolutely. And for all those people who are actually not celebrating but a part of our community, Eid Mubarak to you guys too as well. And what about you? Well, what are you doing here? Your family's in Multan.
I know, but I'm leaving right after this.
Really?
But yeah, but you know what, since you are speaking about all the people who are not celebrating the Eid with us, there are a lot of our, Muslim brethren who are probably not in the condition to celebrate this day.
Exactly.
We are here on behalf of all of you. We love to share our happy times with you. For all the people who are probably bedridden right now, who are not with their families, for all the ones who are not able to spend their, this beautiful festive occasion in a happy manner. People from Syria, people from Yemen, people from Kashmir, everyone out there, Eid Mubarak to all of you.
Exactly, and then at the same time, people, who actually work for the armed forces as well, Eid Mubarak to you too, a lot of people. We know that, are on the borders as well. There are people who are actually on different postings. So, we know that you're missing your families. Your families are actually missing you too as well. Eid Mubarak, don't worry. I think that the only way that you can enjoy is by watching our show as well. So we'll be talking about quite a lot of different things, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot of quizzes. We've got a lot of things. We've got musicians over here. We've got people from different walks of life who are going to share with us how do they actually celebrate their Eid as well. But first things first, I think I'm going to ask Shiza, how does she celebrate Eid?
Well, I feel like it's very usual every other Eid. I mean, in the morning when the men of the house are off to their prayers. So I, and along with my sister, help my mom to prepare the yummy breakfast. Really? We have a special menu, yes. Every other... Anyway, I do, of course, help my mom with that. Moving on, since, ladies and gentlemen, Eid is basically the closure of all the fast that we've been keeping for the whole month. This is celebration, this is festivities. And we started off with, communal prayer in the morning. Did you offer your prayer?
Obviously, I did offer my prayer, and, there's no chance or no way that I can actually miss out on my prayer. Great. This year I did. But previous year, I've said it on my show as well that I wasn't able to because I didn't get up. My dad kind of banging the door as well, but I didn't wake up. I was out late as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, even if you've missed out on your prayers, I think all you need to do is seek forgiveness from Allah Almighty. That's what Ramzan was all about. We hope that everybody has cleansed their souls as well, and they're ready for the year to probably do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but here's the thing, there's so many important virtues of the personality that we have developed over time, especially in this month. I really hope and pray for everyone out there that you, manage to inculcate that to make a permanent part of actually your life and personality.
Exactly.
Really hope so.
So, okay, picking up on that, Shiza, I'm very sorry, but I'll have to ask you this as well. So what change have you made within your own personality? Okay,
I am patient. I'm patient. That is the only thing I want to say. Of course, there's so many other things that you learn with time. But especially, I feel like Ramadan teaches you of patience. I'll try to explain it. So I live in a hostel and it is so hot over there. I keep mentioning it to you as well. We are not allowed ACs over there. So we were fasting, throughout the month in a pathetic heat. I'm not comparing myself with anyone. I know there are a lot of people out there who are even less fortunate than that. But it did teach me patience, yes.
But well, I just certainly do not like the idea of these universities where, they have these rules or you cannot put up an air conditioner in your hostel. I mean, come on, the student's going to pay for the air conditioner, whether the air conditioner or not, what does you have to do with that? But other than that, the time's gone. You're done with half of your degree now.
Oh, thank God, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that it's about time that we actually introduce our guests, ladies and gentlemen. But before we introduce them to you, They're just like family to us as well. On
Yes.
every other occasion, we invite them over on our show. They've always responded in a very positive manner.
Absolutely.
They've been the backbone of the show as well.
And they look stunning, each one of them.
Everybody looks stunning as well. And then there are a few people who think that they're not looking stunning. You know, they're looking around as well, whether who's she talking to. But everybody's doing fantastic. And for me, you know, I'll think I'm going to get started with myself as well.
Okay.
You know, being kids, because Shiza never bothered to ask, so I'll have to say it myself. So as kids, you know, we were always very excited about going to the market, getting new clothes and whatnot. But I think from the last 3 Eids, I haven't bought a single new pair
Why
of shalwar
though?
kameez, because I've got so many now.
Okay,
So I
okay.
think I'm contented with whatever I have. And you know, I think 2 Eids ago, one of our very amazing designers, she's on the show as well. She made me a shalwar kameez. It was fabulous with a waistcoat. But it was a limited time offer. You know, I'm not getting any more now. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, on my right-hand side, she's a fabulous designer. She did wonderful job with my shalwar kameez as well. But her expertise, I believe, are for the ladies' wear as well. But on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, she's none other than Miss Sumaira Sajjad. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum and Eid Mubarak, and thank you, Shahzad. In fact, you always remind me this, and I honestly feel really bad, but that offer is not limited. You never know.
No,
Oh,
but
then
thank
you
you.
just got yourself
I think
another
Bakra
dress.
Eid's coming soon
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well, so
yeah.
I think I'm going to score another shalwar kameez for myself. But thank you very much for saying that. It's wonderful of you to say that. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our next guest. Well, I think that she is the most busy person in today's life, because of the fact that, you know, people who actually lead or represent other communities or societies or people or local areas, I think they've got a larger gathering at homes too as well. There are people who want to see them. There are people who just want to be in front of them because you know, they are the ones who actually lead you out of whatever problems you have. And you know, these personalities, ladies and gentlemen, inspire a million other personalities. She's been a regular on the show, and I don't know, but I've got quite a lot of likability for her as well. The way she speaks, she's very blunt with that as well, and whatever the facts are, she wants to stick to them as well. She's an M&A from PTI, ladies and gentlemen. We're very lucky that we have been joined by her. She's none other than Miss Professor Asma Qadir. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Eid Mubarak to you all.
Thank you very
Eid
much.
Mubarak to you. Thank you so much for inviting
It's
me.
You're
wonderful
always
to
so
have you
busy,
over
but
here.
always so gracious to, you know, bless our show with your presence. Thank you so
I
much
would
for
love
that.
to. I would love
It's amazing to have you, and alongside Miss Asma Qadir, ladies and gentlemen, I've been joined by somebody who's been a beacon of light for me. Well, when I was in my university as well, I think that was the best time. He used to be a professor,
Okay.
Not in my class, well, in one of my juniors' class as well, whom I happen to know very amazingly as well. But and he's an educationist himself. His name is Mr. Atif Rasool. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much.
Sir, how do you want me to refer to you? As sir, professor, or Atif Saab?
Well, it's up to you.
Well, to me, I think I'm going to call sir.
Okay,
You know,
very
because
nice.
that's how it has been in university as well. But thank you very much.
Eid
for
Mubarak and welcome
joining
to the
us.
show.
Eid Mubarak.
And on
Thank
my
you very
left hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by somebody that whenever he's actually visiting us from Sialkot, he never forgets to bring like a souvenir or something of that. So, but today he did. I don't know why, but I'm going to ask him. He's a lawyer by profession. He's a social activist. He's none other than Mr. Waqas Abrez Khan. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. How are you? Eid Mubarak.
I'm fine, but about yourself?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. And Shiza, the best part is that he got married like 6 months ago.
Oh, nice,
So it's his
mashallah.
first Eid with his wife. So we're going to
Oh,
ask
we need to
him.
talk about a lot of things then.
Wow, all
Why
right.
not?
So here's the Nanant, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're moving on. We're very lucky to have been joined by some very talented and young people over here. And I think that, you know, it takes a lot of passion, it takes a lot of dedication to have reached the level where they are so far.
Yeah.
Because this lady, she's actually sung an OST for a drama serial as well. Well, I like the OST very much as well. So I'm not going to name it because it's on another channel. She is none other than Miss Razia Abrar Khan. Hello, Assalamu Alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam, I'm good.
Eid Mubarak.
Khair Mubarak, Eid
Thank you
Mubarak
very
to
much
you
for
too.
joining us. It's wonderful to have you. And moving on, ladies and gentlemen, last but not the least, do you want to do his introduction? He's very cute, no?
Yeah, of course. He's been on the show before as well, ladies and gentlemen. I remember him singing a cover and then one of his own songs as well. And we just thought of him immediately because we wanted him on the Eid show. We love to listen to him. He is none other than Zain bin Kaisar. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak. Welcome to the show.
Eid Mubarak to all you
Look
guys.
at him, he's blushing already. Oh my God. What?
No, that introduction was, I'm really thankful to you.
Really? Oh, that's
You
so
don't have to
sweet.
say that, this is what we get paid for, but it's perfectly alright, you deserved it. But
Well, I
let's-
love how you're being honest, especially on Eid as well.
I've been very honest lately as well. One day, one of my producers even said that you have to be nice with your guests, and I was like, I'm always nice with my guests. I don't do anything of that
Okay,
sort. And then
okay.
he was like, no. I was like, you might not be on that level with the
Yeah,
guests,
you
but
know
I
what?
am.
Probably, Shazad, we don't feel it while we're doing it. Even the guests don't. But
Because
probably
they're so regular with us,
exactly,
we're friends.
right. If someone who is watching, it might be different for them. But let's begin with the conversation.
All right.
I feel like we should begin with you. How is your Eid different than it was before? Now that you're married, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah, it's very good.
Before you answer, so earlier he was spending 20,000 rupees on Eid. This time he's spending 100,000. I think that's the difference.
That is stereotypical, but let's talk about it.
Actually, the inflation has been caused in the society by the present government. So inflation can be caused in the family life as well.
Yeah.
So no matters, Alhamdulillah. It's a famous quotation, if you get a good wife, then you get a prosperous. If you get a bad one, you become a prosperous. Alhamdulillah, I get a very good wife, so I'm prosperous.
Well,
and I'm spending a
it's
very
even,
good.
we cannot label the government for everything,
But then again,
because
it's so-
inflation can take place in families too as
Oh,
well.
that's
Right. From 1 to being 2 is inflation anyways. That's what it is.
Yeah, but that is what you have to plan again. But yes, again, Eid Mubarak to you and your family.
you so much.
Let's move on to you. You being a singer, I know this is a part-time thing that you do, but you definitely do get invited to a lot of places to make appearances as well. How does your Eid go? And when you're with your family on Eid days especially, does it ever happen, Razi, ek gana to sunao, sab baithe hue hain?
Obviously.
Yeah, it always happens that whenever we're gathered, everyone in my family are like always looking towards me and please, can you sing for us? And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna sing for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
it's like
there's
that.
this other thing as well, which singers do usually. I'm not blaming anybody in person, but for example, you're going to be like, oh, please, yaar, kuch suna to do. Gala kharab hai yaar. Aaj nahi, kal gayenge. Things like that. But eventually everybody have to push, and then the singers finally like, अच्छा गाना बताओ यार गाना नहीं याद में आ रहा. So listen, do you do that?
Actually, this happens.
Yeah.
This happens in me, in reality. It's not like we're like doing a drama or anything
Yeah.
like that. It happens.
Okay.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So how did you start your day today, early in the morning when you were coming to the show? Wasn't your family like, Razia, we truly know that you're a singer, but you can spend Eid with family members as well. What
They
did you
were-
say to them?
They were really like supportive. They were like, yeah, we're gonna watch you behind the TV and all good things. But yeah, it's like I feel a little sad that I'm not spending my Eid with them. But like the morning,
Just an
Eid
hour
morning.
left, it's all right.
Yeah,
You could
like
be very
morning is the best part because when my brother come back from mosque and like they give us Eid and all, but I'm not there. My sisters are gonna take everything.
Take all of your Eid.
Yes.
All right. Well, moving on to Zain, Zain reminds me of something very amazing, one of my very amazing memories from childhood, and
Okay.
that is that, so obviously, when you go out to shop for clothes, you buy 3 different sets of clothes, and then, eventually you keep one in the car, and after the prayers, you want to wear a jeans and a t-shirt because
Can't
all
relate,
of,
but okay.
because all of your cousins are wearing jeans and
Okay.
t-shirts as well. So this is what Zain did today. So Zain's wearing a jean and a t-shirt on Eid Day 1 as well because why?
It's so
Zain?
convenient, I feel, right?
Yeah, I actually did that.
Okay.
I went for the prayers. I came back home. I changed and then I rushed over here.
I think that's great. But usually, how is your Eid? How much Eid did you collect?
Well, I think. Sorry, my bad.
It's all
Okay,
right.
so first of all, on the Chand Raat, we go to our Nana's place. We
Yeah.
spend the night over there. All of our relatives, they come there, they gather all around, and then in the morning we go together for the prayers.
Yeah.
When we come back, we do have
Start
the
asking for money.
savaiyan and all of that. And then my dad starts off with giving Eid to the little ones, and then ab to aakhir mein bari aati hai.
How much did you get though? How much did you get? What's the rate this year?
Well, I think अभी गिने नहीं है.
अभी गिरे नहीं है.
बहुत ज़्यादा हो गए.
It just started. It's just the
He's
beginning.
taking his time. But ख़वातीन और हज़रात, हमारे घर में रेट है 500 रुपए फीकस. You know, so it can
You know
go
what my
beyond
dad
that.
does actually? So, you know, this was sort of an incentive for all of us to start fasting because my sisters were younger and we were like, oh, you know, we were lazy often.
Yeah.
So he said, towards the end of the month, I am going to give 100 rupees per roza.
Okay.
So whoever, you know, fasts more, get more money.
Wow.
So that is amazing. I can't wait to get back home and tell him how many I've kept and I can get the money then. But let's come to you,
It's only going
Miss
to be
Designer.
3,000. Come on.
Still excited,
and
man.
and
It's
you
such,
know-
it's such a beautiful gesture,
It
especially.
is.
It's traditional
यार
as
मेरे
well.
लिए भी लेके आना फिर ठीक है. इनको बोला
Promise.
मैंने भी रखे हैं.
So moving on to you, Miss Designer. Now this part of the year is so busy, right? I mean, there's so many orders and whatnot, and then sort of also catering to the tantrums of your clients. How does that happen?
It always happens.
Right.
So yeah, now we're used to it, but yeah, our Eid is very tiring. In fact, our Ramzan is very tiring. Why? Because till Chan Raat we're working and we're like everything should be delivered and you know every customer should be satisfied. So yeah, Ramzan is really tiring for us. But yes, I actually long for the Eid because that is a time when I can relax.
Right. You can unwind finally after a lot
That's
of
my
working.
peaceful time. So
Okay.
actually, you know, I love Eid, and in fact, that's very surprising because on Eid days I don't wake up early. I give myself time, and I'm the last one who gets up and gets ready because I'm so exhausted throughout the
Right.
year that that is the only time I have.
That's great, but I've got a very important question to ask you.
Yeah.
And I'm still, ladies and gentlemen, I've not been able to realize how do they actually do this, how do they coordinate. But recently, you know, I've seen pictures from the Met Gala as well.
Yeah.
You know, all of the celebrities were there, and they were pretty much wearing same clothes. You know, everybody was in the same theme.
Yeah.
So even now on our Eid set, you know, we can see that Shiza and her are actually wearing something which probably
Similar,
resembles
yeah.
in the design or probably the structure
How
of the dress as
even?
well.
We're
I
not
don't know.
getting to the-
I think it's the trousers or something. I don't know.
Okay, okay,
So you
I'll
know,
give you that.
whatever trends there in the market, how do you think that everybody gets to know about it at the same time and everybody wears the same dresses?
You know what? It's because of the social media. Now everyone is so exposed to everything. So whatever trends come up, you know, otherwise maybe 10 years down the lane, we were the ones who used to, you know, come up with the trends and tell people this is what you need to wear.
Right.
But now everything is on the internet, and people are so conscious about what they need to wear, so they have their research already.
Alright.
And definitely in the market you get, because these are the things that like the one Shaza is wearing. You know,
What do
these
we
are
call this
traditional.
dress? I mean, first
this
of
is
all.
she is wearing a sharara pants, and she is also wearing, that is a variation of a sharara
Okay.
pant. We call it bell bottom, but that's
Yeah.
again a traditional you know variation. So everything, you know, like then there's a competition and every brand wants their things to sell.
Right,
So
sell,
they
of
try
course.
to make things that are wearable and you know and are up to the tradition. So that's why you find people wearing same things.
Okay, that's amazing. I still have another question as well, but right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to move on to Professor Saib over here. Ma'am, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak, Eid
I think,
Mubarak.
and the best part is that, you know, you really do not have to ask a question from her. She's got so much to say anyways.
No,
So I think
I'll
we're
try to
just
say
going to
this.
direct it to her.
No,
so,
we
you know,
love
for
listening to
somebody who's got a bigger family, you know, your son's married, and you know, there are a lot of people to cater to, and then you've got responsibility of other people to be represented. Isn't life difficult?
No, it becomes more beautiful because at the same you're helping so many people, and you're helping people not just because that is a need, but for it serves a two purpose. One is that they get the help which they need, and other they become the source of satisfaction for me.
Wow,
So
that's
actually
beautiful.
to keep myself in peace, right, you know, at the end of the day, that you have to stand in front of which we call a judge, a bigger judge inside,
Yeah.
who always checks you before going to night, that you are clean today and you can have a good night's sleep. So that is kind of like, you know, spending so much life on earth. So I have reached to a point where now I answer whatever I've done the whole day in front of the one who has created us.
Wow, that's
So
beautiful.
yeah, because you people are little kids, okay?
Yeah. Eid, please.
Yeah, your ED is there.
Yeah.
So I have reached, like, I've spent a lot my days. Now I have entered in the evenings of my life.
Wow.
So I think very differently.
And
But that's
the
so
best part
graceful
is,
to listen to as
Yes.
well. Wow.
Seeing happy everyone happy, that's I feel my Eid. And everyone is wearing like, even the people, those who work for my home, they are like my own kids, so they are first. You know, everybody, those who work for my home and all, they're first to me. So once they are decorated, once they're having a feast and food, that's what my happiness. I don't like going for dresses like you kids. But even as a child, I was not so much into getting new clothes and all that. It was always seeing nature, being there, seeing, I miss, in these days I miss the chirping of the birds, which I don't hear because of, and that upsets me because where they gone? I don't hear the sparrows chirping. I don't don't see the butterflies, which I used to see somewhere in my young age. So these kinds of things actually is all the time in my mind. I think I'm not like, what should I say? It's like the people I love seeing this. Look, she's looking so beautiful, this dress. Look at the beautiful dress. But I love seeing other wearing this beautiful dress they're looking with. But for myself, no, it's just like it's a hard work.
No, but that's
a
totally
hard
all
work
right,
for me.
ma'am, because there are different types of people, right? So if you were not ever, let's say, you said you were never interested in, you know, probably dressing up or things like that, but there were so many other things that you were interested in. And speaking of the natural things that you were talking about, you know, the birds chirping and everything and the butterflies, but that is the city life. I mean, it does make me sad, and all the people out there as well, that we miss out on so, beautiful things, right?
Yeah, you're right. But as you said, that we serve as a social activist. But yes, the whole, as in Ramzan, for example, the Ramazan month, this is a month in which I have to think, like, I believe that this is a month on which I should be thinking about myself, cleansing myself, only about myself, correcting myself. The whole year, what the do's I did and what the don'ts I didn't do, because what according to Islamic teachings.
Okay.
So it's like extending your respect, is extending the care for the needy, those who never got it. So this, you're very right. We do it whole year, but few like this being taught that to be done in Ramadan. No, it is during the practice in Ramadan that we do it. It means the whole year we have to do it.
Absolutely
So we
right.
do it whole year.
Yeah,
so
this is sort of a mock transmission of our lives as well, where we can actually inculcate anything that we want, you know, and make it a permanent part of our lives, right? Very rightly said.
Exactly, but let's just move on to Atif Sahab over here. Sir,
He's been waiting a long time.
what about you? Weren't you supposed to be in your village?
First of all, I'm very happy, like sitting with SNS in the show, like
Shahzad and
listening
Shahzad.
to,
Wow, wonderfully.
Wow, lovely.
lots of energy and all that. So one is this Eid occasion that already you're happy and you have just gone through this 1 month of Ramadan. Obviously, you just experienced a lot many things. For example, sometime at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, exactly I used to feel that, you know, like there was a time when Sahabas, they were just fighting wars. They were like hungry like anything, but still with this vigor, energy, they fought the wars. So I could just really imagine this. Then like thinking about other like poor people who can't afford this food and stuff. So third is like how to bear, as she was rightly saying that, you know, this is one thing which you really practice. So after this, Allah Almighty blesses us with this, the day after Eid. That is basically the reward. So on this day of reward, you should really enjoy it because you've just gone through a complete process. You really enjoyed it. And now, I mean, on that like morning, obviously you're fresh and you enjoy like it.
Right, that
I
is so
think that's
true.
great, yeah.
And if you've been watching PTV World regularly, ladies and gentlemen, you know we've been bringing you shows throughout Ramadan special transmission, and that is what we will be doing these 3 days as well. But you know, while we are speaking about Eid, we sort of neglect speaking about Chandrat. I absolutely love Chandrat. So Shahzad, this is a question for you actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's a very simple question. Do you feel like there's a difference between how I or generally girls spend their Chandrat as compared to men? Or what do you do?
Well, well, thank you very much for actually saying or calling me out as a man too as well, because I was still considering myself a boy, but it's perfectly all right. But talking about that, yes, our Chandrat is very different from the type of Chandrat you guys have, because you guys will go out for henna, you know, probably everybody's going to get together.
Yes.
Friends will get together, tum laga do, wo mehndi wali auntie theek nahi hai, you know, things like that. So these are the issues you guys have. So with us, you know, obviously, first of all, we have to take our wives out as well. You know, I have to look after my two very beautiful daughters, you know, get their things sorted. And once they are done, so I actually have to, you know, probably convince my wife on letting me go to my friend's place, probably.
Convince, you know? Okay, I like
you know, so I just have to make a face that, you know, oh, acha, tumhare to sare kaam ho gaye, to and it's probably 11, 12
And does it
night.
work out though?
Yeah, it has been working out, but it worked out this time as well. And then she looked at me and then she was like, okay, what time will you be back? And I'll always be like, oh, aadhe ghante mein, you are. And then she'll be calling me till 4 in the morning and I'll be like, oh, I'm coming, batao. And
you know, this actually I'm sorry I'm cutting you, but this reminds me of something. You said that I'll be back in Adha Ghanta, right?
Yeah.
So when you ask a girl how long she's going to take for getting ready, that is exactly the amount of time that men take when they say we're coming back home soon.
When will you be home? Yeah,
yeah, soon.
But you know, this is what happens. And you know, I think it's just funny to sit down together or probably enjoy the luxury of, you know, having to start eating whenever you want. I mean, that's what it is.
Does this happen to you though, especially since we, you know, just came out of a Eid breakfast? Because we've been fasting for 30 days straight, mashallah. Does this happen to you that you sort of, you know, forget that it's Eid and you're like, I don't have to eat this?
No, with me, you know, it's the other way around because I'm so habitual of eating whatever I find right in front of me that my mother actually have to hide a few items as well because I have to push her that please do not give me so much to eat, otherwise I'm going to be so fat.
Okay.
So I mean, for me, I think the people actually have to remind me in Ramadan that, you know, oh, yeah, roza hai bhai, kuch mat khao, you know, so things like that. But when it's Eid, I think I'm good to go as well.
That's perfect.
But ladies and gentlemen, right now we are actually going to put our talented musicians over here to a test, and let's see whether they're going to do justice with it or not. So what are you guys going to share with us?
Anything that lightens and brightens the Eid mood.
Go for Rolling in the Deep.
Rolling in the Deep.
Adele, okay, let's get to it.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first and the only English song we're going to share for all the, obviously, English language audience as well. But other than that, we've actually made sure that they have prepared some Urdu songs for us as well. Because
that is the essence of Eid too, right? I
something
feel like.
of that sort, yeah.
Right, that is so true. Are we ready though?
Yeah.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching the fever pitch and springing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and sail me out and I'll lay your ship bare. See how I live with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching the fever pitch and springing me out the dark. The scars of your love remind me of us. They keep me thinking that we almost had it all. The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Rolling in the deep, you have my heart inside your head, and you played it to the beat. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching the fever pitch and bringing me out the dark.
Beautiful.
And you know, since you both are musicians and you both know about the notes and everything, while Razi, you were hitting the notes and was like, that is it. I could see it on his face. But this was a beautiful performance.
Indeed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, so ever since we've been doing these Eid shows, there's this one question which has always been very common amongst all of the questions, and that is, you know, one of the fondest memory people would love to share with everybody who's out there as well. So, you know, when we have people from different walks of life, there's always a thing to take away from one of the fondest memory they're going to share with us. So I think what we're going to do is, right at the beginning, we're going to get done with that, and then we've got an amazing segment where we'll be playing games, we'll be asking them, or probably checking whether they lie or not.
Yes, there's so much in store. You have to stay tuned for this.
So we're going to start from Professor Saiba over here. So ma'am, you actually have to share with us one of your childhood memories from Eid ul-Fitr.
From Eid ul-Fitr.
Everybody, please. This is your...
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was about Mehndi. I was very fond of Mehndi. So, and my father used to say, okay, like, the mehendi doesn't look always good, so it harms the skin and it harms the nerves and so on and so on. So my aunt, my khala, she took me in her room on Chandrat, and she said, I'm gonna cover all your hands with the mehendi, but your father won't know.
Okay.
And what she did, that she covered all my hands with the mehendi, and she wrapped it. It was December, I remember.
Okay.
She wrapped it, and she wrapped it with the band. And she said, the whole night you're gonna sleep like this.
Okay.
And then?
And
What was the design like? Did it come out good?
nothing. It was just.
It was just all.
It was just
all
all
you.
mehendi. And the whole night, in the middle of the night, I started feeling a little bit pain. A little
Okay.
bit like my
Stiffness,
hands are
yeah.
getting stiff and there is some pain. So I just woke her up. I said, "Look, it's getting stiff and I cannot bear." So I said, "Okay, keep lying and we'll settle in the morning." So early in the morning, I got up and I just felt pain and started crying.
Oh, okay.
And then she said, "You will be all right, don't worry. And bus, we're going to see the color, it's going to come out very beautiful."
Right.
Anyway, it was such a difficult moment at the time. I couldn't open my fingers and all.
no.
But what she was the whole time, she said, "Look, the color is good,
colour
forget
is
about it."
The color is
And
worth
the whole
everything.
day, yes, on the
Orange
whole
hands.
day, look, the colors are, the color is so good, so forget about it. And really, the whole time when I was feeling pain, I said, "No, the color is good." The colour is
So you
good.
stick to that. You're
Oh,
like,
you
okay.
stick to that. And that's how I forgot the pain in the evening.
That's
No, but then, so the only thing you had on your hands was just orange color, that's it.
It was orange, dark.
No
beautiful.
design, no nothing.
Nothing.
So it was
They
all
were
complete.
They were all.
Oh, wow, that's great. Ah.
I mean, the bangles full of bangles,
And then did your father see that?
Oh, yes.
And then what did he say?
He said, "How did you do it?" And he said, "Oh, it's a color." Okay. My khala said, "Well, don't ask her how did he do it. Just see the colors." I said, "Okay, this is like it."
That's great. So this is one thing which she never wanted to happen again, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so this is one thing which you're going to learn, even if your khala is going to tell you, okay, nobody's going to see. Please make sure that you do not
Listen
fall
to
for
your own
khala's words as well. Atif Saab, what about you?
Well, I can just remember like first time when I just went for this very nice acting because I just missed this Eid prayer, and my father is a very strict military guy. Okay. So that was like first time I spent a lot of time with my friend on Chandrat. Like that is the best time which I really enjoy. Even if I tell you the truth, there's nothing except chatting. Okay. What you are expecting, that does not happen in my area.
Jurisdiction.
So exactly. So I mean, early in the morning, like I was drowsy like hell, and my brother, they just kept waiting for me. But anyhow, they just left. And when I went very near to the mosque, I saw people were coming out. Then I just stood in the corner, like hid myself in the corner when my past. Actually, our house is in my hometown, very near to the mosque. Yeah. So my father got into the house, and later I just pretended as if, well, I have just properly offered the prayer, and then I just put on in the same like color that just offered my prayer, and I came, and then for next half an hour I was winking at my brother and sister that please do not vomit this out, otherwise there's going to be a disaster.
You could be in trouble.
How much money did you give them then, at that time, to stay quiet?
It was simply since I am the eldest one, so these strict winks, they really worked, and they didn't say anything else.
How does a strict wink work? I mean, this is something I want to see now. Can you give us that strict wink? Okay, go ahead. Please.
Zoom in.
I mean, so imagine that camera is your brother or sister, whoever you want to imagine, and do that strict wink. I want to see that. What is a strict wink?
Actually, you have got so many aspects. For example, you are one of the biggest stakeholders who is going to play a very key role, and so many a time they've just got to come to you for the rescue. So
Sir,
on such
strict
occasion,
wink karke
You
dikhayega
will
na.
have to do it.
well, there are many aspects.
Sir,
which you can
karna
just
padega, please. You'll have to do it. You'll have to do it, please.
We insist.
Strict wink.
I mean, it's simply like when they're just they're about to say something like that, or even you feel like having that certain
that
things
they
on their
might,
expression on their faces.
Yeah.
So just look at them and you just tell them.
Because I always thought to myself that winks, ladies and gentlemen, are always. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know whether I can say it or not, but a little bit of flirtalicious kind of thing, or probably, you know, something naughty or something cooking, or, you know, something of that sort, you know.
But you know, speaking of strict, my mom, of course,
No,
is
no,
not
no,
a strict
this
wing.
wing is like not even a wing.
It's sort of a strict glare or stare,
No,
sort of.
because I thought, you know, just when you said that, you know, you've got a strict wing, so, you know, I wanted to learn it for my daughter as well, because whenever I wink to her, she winks back like this, and she's like this. I was like, okay, this was a strict wink. Okay, but Svera, what about you?
Basically from childhood I always, because I used to love cycling.
Okay.
And and I used to ignore my studies also because of that. So I had very limited time for cycling. But during Eid days, my mother used to give me go ahead. So what I used to do, I used to take out my bicycle and I used to tell my friends, ride on it, and we used to go door to door and collect our EIDs. And by the end of the day, we used to count them. And you know, there was a competition who's getting the maximum EID. So, you know, I really miss
Had
that.
to treat others as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is something I want
but
to know as well.
that was very hard to get the treat out of that person, because, you know, it's like, you know, my mother will take the EID and, you know, things like that. But I really miss that time, because now you cannot do that.
It doesn't
I mean,
happen
if my
anymore.
mother was taking my EID, I will never go back in that time. Honestly. Thank God. I mean, and you know, this is one thing for all those parents who are out there. I mean, other than that you might be in need of that money is a different story. But please do not take it away from kids. I mean, they look forward to it every other day, probably throughout the year. And
but you know, Shahzad, I do sort of agree with you, but also I feel like parents know best, right? So they can sort of manage everything better. But there was a way sort of that my mom devised. So of all the money that we got ever on, you know, Eid, birthdays, and whenever guests came, everyone had a money pot. Like, we didn't know it existed, but apparently it did. And we thought that, you know, Mama is taking our money, chupalo, Mama le lengi, but apparently it was going into the money pot. And then later on, we could like collectively buy something big, and it was amazing.
Okay, that's great. So how much, you know, what is that amount of EID which you thought was the best so far? I mean, and when
Can
did you
I
get
tell
it?
you,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so sorry I have to say this on national television. My family is sort of conjuice in that matter. For real. I listen to my friends and they're like, I got 25,000, I got 30,000. And I'm like, how does that happen? How does that
Families, in
happen?
fact, where are those families?
Yeah, because I think the maximum I got was probably 2,150 rupees.
This
No,
is
yeah.
where you
That was
stop,
the
yeah.
that was
True,
my
true.
maximum.
4 or
I totally
5,000
agree,
is max.
Yes.
5,000?
Dude, it's
You're my best friend. Okay, okay, so we'll definitely sort that out as well. What about you? Your fondest memory?
Actually, I was very careless and reckless towards my dressing in my childhood, and my mother always tried to persist me. Insist me. Yes, that was like that. That was like that. And my mother always tried to persist me, insist me about this thing that you need to prepare the things before the events is going to be happening.
Yeah.
But I always try to put a deep ear towards the statements of my mother. But one day before Eid, when I just went to the tailor, I have given something for stitching. He did not stitch my clothes of Eid. At that time, I was very worried what will happen. And the next time he'll come, he asked me to come before namaz, inshallah, I'll give you. But when I went away, went to the tailor, and he said that I haven't stitched your clothes. That was a very embarrassing thing for me. And I just wore my old clothes, and I just asked my friend, I just want to put the picture on Facebook. What I can do in this regard? He said that I can use Photoshop. He just put a Photoshop. He asked me a color, which color I would add in this specific matter. I just told him a color. He put a color, and I put the pictures on Facebook. I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
wow.
I enjoyed a lot in this way. But after that, I'm very careful in my life that we should try to give full attention and importance to the sayings of our parents.
The only thing I want to ask you over here is that
I know where this is
you
going.
changed the color of your clothes. You posted the picture on Facebook. You lied to a million other people. What do you do when it comes up and says, you know, 2 years ago in memories, 3 years ago in
Do
memories?
you laugh? Do you
Yes,
regret?
definitely.
Think about it. Do you think
This was a very ridiculous thing at my part.
Yeah.
This was a very amazing and
Alright,
ridiculous thing at
alright.
my part.
No, it's an interesting story. And if it makes you happy, then why not?
Yes, of course.
I think that's. What about you, Shiza? I think I missed out on you. Your fondest memory of
Well, I
childhood.
will definitely get to that, but let's
Come
begin
on,
with
you have
Razia.
to
I
share.
can't recall any. I swear that is why I'm moving to Razia over here.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
I mean,
Yeah.
she does not have a fond memory
I
from
even,
Eid.
so ladies and gentlemen, I actually even gave him a cue ke mujhse na poochna. But it's Shahzad. What can we say? Let's move on to you, Razia.
All right, Razia. I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's about last year.
Okay.
My sisters always put mehndi on
That's
my
fresh.
hand. Yeah.
Yes.
So on Chand Raat, she put mehndi on my hand, and when I sleep, it's a habit. I put my hand like this.
Oh.
So when
And
I
then you had to
slept-
print on your face.
Yes, the design came all over my cheek, and when I woke up, I wasn't allowed to put a concealer because I had this allergy.
Oh no.
So the design of the mehndi was all over my face, and it was like
How unique is that, by the way?
It
I
was
mean,
like a face tattoo.
face
Yeah.
tattoo, exactly. And then you couldn't even hide it with makeup. But I mean, you remember it, so it was all good. It was all
Yeah.
fun, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
people might have been thinking that you were so excited about Eid. Finally decided to have me now.
Or
on our
probably
day.
someone with mehndi actually hit you hard. And I don't know. I
No,
shouldn't
no,
say that.
that- What about
But
you, Hero?
yes.
Well, there hasn't been any specific memory, but most of the Eid every year is the same for me. The first day we spent it with the relatives, and second day we go out somewhere
Yeah.
and spend time with friends and relatives coming over for at our place, and we're going towards them, and it's just the same. And
Okay, let me ask you,
yeah.
I think I'll get something out of it. Do you think that somebody's actually stolen from your Eid money ever?
Well, yes.
See, that's what you need to remember.
Okay.
Okay, that's going to be your fondest memory of Eid. Who did that to you?
My father.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to go for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Eid Mubarak.
Stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you're watching World This Morning special transmission on Eid Day 1. We'll be live tomorrow as well. Please make sure to join us. We have been joined by some very amazing guests over here who are regular on our show as well, and we're very thankful to them that they've actually taken our time on such an important and an amazing day, and they've made sure that they celebrate the first day of Eid with us. And I feel valued in my life, when they show up. I think it feels great. What about you?
Well, of course I do feel valued as well. Is that even a question? But since we were talking about our fondest memories, Shazad, do you have one?
Well, yeah, I have a lot of them. I have a lot of them because
Okay, let's begin.
thank you very much for asking that as well. And we're a very huge family, alhamdulillah.
Mashallah.
Thanks to Allah Almighty that He never gave the right education to our parents, and they kept on producing kids. Yeah, but so I can't even say bunch. So it's like a huge family. I mean, we can't even count on fingers. Usually, my father, who's actually a nana and a dada, he forgets the names of the kids because there's so many roaming around, alhamdulillah.
But it's lovely to actually have a big family.
Yeah, but that's the best part. I think I've learned to be a good man because of the fact that we have actually lived a bit of our life in a joint family system as well. So all of our chachus, we used to go to our grandfather's place. But after that, eventually, when families grow up, it's your place as well. And so one day what happened, obviously, as Atif Saab has mentioned that, he was late and he missed out on namaz. So I didn't miss out on namaz, but I missed out on my trousers. So, I was in such a rush that I was actually wearing I wore my shirt, I was yelling out of the washroom. I was like, where's my shirt? Where's my shirt? And, my wife just got into me. And then I just started
Your
running.
wife, so this is recent.
Yeah, it is. Obviously
Okay,
recent,
I'm
so-
thinking you were a child probably,
No,
but
no,
okay.
childhood memories I do have, but they're very cute.
Okay.
This one's a little different.
Uncute.
Yeah. So what happened was that I was in such a rush, and my father, everybody knows that if he gets angry, everybody's in trouble.
Okay.
So I never realized that I'm not wearing my trousers, and
How far did you go though?
so I just went and sat down in the car, and then he told me that you're not even wearing your shalwar, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, I missed out on my
It's
namaz because they had to
unbelievable.
go to, and then eventually I had to run back upstairs, and it was quite a problem. Yeah, so this can happen, ladies and gentlemen, but if you're wearing a kameez, you can actually forget that you're not wearing it. Yeah. And it was a longer one as well.
No one here can relate, but it was, of course, I
can
mean,
be
it's
dasha.
unbelievable as well, sort of, because
mean,
you do
it's-
watch these things in dramas and
you
movies.
do not realize, because if you're in such a hurry and on top of that your father's yelling and you're wearing a long kameez, you might not even look down, if you're wearing something or not. So yeah, so I do not want to go in more depth as well, but
Well, wait.
But when you wait,
Ma'am
so
has
what-
a reaction. I really want to
yeah,
catch
we're
it.
going to come down to that, but ma'am, listen to this one. I don't know, but I'm going to say it. So
Okay.
I realized it when I was about to sit in the car. When you're wearing shalwar kameez, you have to lift the kameez and then sit down so that the
I
screen doesn't
have no idea
go
why
back.
we are.
That's the time I realized that oh, there's something wrong. So it was all air conditioned and everything. But this happened to me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, and yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, okay, of course, that was one of his fondest memories,
Yeah.
ladies and
I'm sorry,
gentlemen.
I can't even
You
believe
made
it. I
the
said it
day.
on television.
We can't believe it, Shahzad, but it's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we promised before heading out to a very short break, that we will be having so many interesting game segments.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, I think we should be beginning with something simple. It's called This or That.
Yeah.
So, we will move to each one of you turn by turn, and I'll give you two options. And
I think we
it's
can
sort
do
of
it
a
all
rapid fire
together.
as well.
I think we can do it all together as
Okay,
well. So
okay,
we've
let's
got these printed over here. So now for all those people who've been on Eid too as well, Samara, I
Yeah,
think
I
you know
know
it as well, and pretty much everybody. So we're going to ask you questions. So if it's a yes, just say a yes. If it's a no, just say a no. And since
Oh, so you want to play Never Have I Ever before we play
Yeah,
this
yeah,
or
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, okay, so
Okay.
we are playing Never Have I Ever.
yeah, never have I ever. Yeah.
Let's pass it on.
I think I cannot. I'm not the right person to say that.
No, can you
whatever
pass it
is,
on as
yeah.
well? So I'll briefly explain the game as well. We will be posing sort of hypothetical situations or even real ones to these
Please pass
people.
them on.
And if they have done that thing, they will have to raise yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is visible. And if not, then you have to raise no. It's sort of just a fun, inclusive game.
I want everybody's yes and no's to be captured very perfectly.
Yes, cameraman,
Okay.
be active.
So the first one is, never have I ever shoplifted.
Need to think
No,
on it.
no,
No.
no.
Can you raise it a bit?
Oh, yours is on. Yeah.
You're not sure.
Because when you flip it,
Yes. Okay. There's a
I love
yes.
it.
There's a yes. Okay. So my professor eventually decided on my TV show that he's going to tell us that he's shoplifted. Okay. What did you shoplift?
Well, I was a kid and I went outside with my grandmother. So she was just looking for different items. So I just looked at this pair of socks. So as a young kid, I just took it and I just decided there and then just to pick it, and I just placed
And
it.
you
And
did?
later when I got back, so she was a very nice lady. She got very angry and all that, and she said, I mean, we are going to have like such a child who is going to bring this much shame, and this at this young age you have done this and that.
Well, at least you're being honest.
Siddha, what
over
about
it.
you? Have you?
No, I haven't, but I feel like I have the potential to do so.
Don't do it. Now is not the age. Yeah.
But okay, so the next
But
question
even
is
though I
very
don't have a
easy.
yes or no, ladies and gentlemen, but I am guilty of that too as well, and I'm very sorry. And I think that person wasn't able to catch me. But okay, if you're listening, you might not even know who you are. But still, I did that, and I'm very sorry for that.
Well, that's
Don't
good
do that.
if you're
Don't do that. You
apologetic.
can be in trouble.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, especially the kids listening to it right now, it's not a good thing to do. Don't listen to us. So the next question is very simple. Never have I ever ridden an animal. I have. I mean, I went to riding school, horseback riding.
Yeah,
and
I've been on
everything.
an elephant. I've been on horse. I've been on a donkey.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. Yes, everybody's
Everyone-
done. No,
oh, you
you have
haven't?
never ever been on an animal.
No,
I mean, your father never took you to a zoo or anything, or to.
I never been to zoo.
You've never been to a zoo.
No.
Okay, wow, this is interesting.
How many animals are you aware of? I think this is the next question.
On a lighter note.
Yeah.
First of all, human being is a social animal.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the animal which whom to about
Yeah.
And after that, I have animals at my farmhouse as well.
Okay.
But I've never went to zoo.
Oh, so you have got your private zoo.
Yes.
Okay, I
Wow,
think that
that's
means
nice.
that
I've been on an ostrich.
on an ostrich.
Oh my God, how
Really?
was it?
Yeah, I went to South Africa, and although they had to, cover their eyes because, and
Yeah.
then there was
They get angry quick.
Yeah, and then there was a guide also, but it was amazing. I was,
sure it
I was
was.
frightened, but yeah, it was a good
I
experience.
mean, how does it feel on being on an ostrich?
It's very feathery, so you
Yeah.
feel very comfortable.
And are they fast?
They were.
They
He
are
was.
super
He was locked in a cage, and we were supposed to sit. That's why their eyes were also,
So you just sat down, or
Yeah, we just
the
sat
ostrich
down.
even walked?
No,
or
no, no,
something?
no, no. We
That is
sat on
dangerous.
it.
Where did you
Right.
hold the ostrich from the neck? Or is there something
Actually,
to hold
yes,
on to?
we
Oh, no?
did. Yeah, because they have
What if you
longer
choke
neck.
it to
Yeah.
death?
Huh?
There are chances of choking it to death, I mean.
I mean,
No, no.
you
They
never
have
know.
very flexible necks,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah. So
And ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, there are these festivals where there is there are ostrich races as well.
Yes,
People
I've
do
seen
that.
that, yes.
Okay,
So
thank
we
you
have,
very much.
and we even saw that.
Ostrich race?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So moving on to the next one. Huh? Oh, okay. Never have I ever ruined a trip plan.
Oh, multiple
I
times.
feel like everyone is
Yes.
guilty of
Multiple
that.
times.
Yes. No.
No,
Okay.
we haven't. We want to listen to you. How come? I mean, ma'am, it does happen actually in normal life as well. I mean, you do make plans with your friends, probably with your family, and the next day you're like, I really don't want to do this.
Last minute backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never did that?
I mean, you were asking that with
If
the
you ruined it.
friends, I have ruined it or not?
Yeah.
So I've ruined the trips many times.
Yes. So
So you have to
yeah,
hold
yes.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Many
so everyone
times.
is on the same page.
Everybody's done it. And I need to share away. So, amongst friends, whenever you make plans for the first day, chalo yaar, Naran ka kahan jayenge? So, all 6 of them, for example, their friends, chalo, yu jayenge, gaadi karenge, all of that. And then eventually, 3 days later, you're still going to ask them. So, 2 of them have dropped already. And then, you are only 4. And then, when it's the day when you actually have to go, so it's only a person like me who's out there as well.